MGTOW,
Yeah,
MGTOW
MGTOW.
men.
Yeah, men going
Men
their own ways. Yeah.
gone their own ways.
Yeah.
And I guess this is sort of the discernment required in understanding this messaging, and discernment with sort of crafting your own life. Because I don't think you need to take extremes.
Yes.
So once you understand how women function, once you understand fully yourself, and possibly decide to go to a long-term relationship, then as a man, you have to be the chief architect of that relationship. If you don't intentionally design it to be what you want it to be, then you're gonna fall on the other side.
But
where, as you say, you submit to a woman.
But Andrew, do you think it's possible for a man to remain stoic from day one in a relationship until the last day?
Once you're in marriage, you mean?
Yes, let's say even in marriage or long-term relationship. Yeah. Do you think it's possible for a man to be strong all through from day one till the end?
I mean, I look at examples all around me. For sure, if I look at my dad, that house is fully under his frame. It's fully under his frame because, like him and my mother, they are sort of how many years apart? It's more than 10 years apart. My mother was married when she was 19. So in most cases, my dad was the first man that she knew.
Yes.
So you have to be intentional because, again, it depends on your goal. Personally, I do have a goal to have children. Probably the most likely best environment that I can provide them is where there is a mother and a father.
That's true.
So you need to craft how that engagement will be. It is true. And as you say, the current world, the modern world that we are in, definitely makes things muddier. But let's say if you find a woman who is already working, there are women that are ready to leave work to become mothers.
Yes.
And wives. Excuse me for that. So, but you have to define it. It's like one of those things you have to set from the get-go. You can't go into it blindly and then begin to put it out once you're in the relationship.
Yes.
So you have to be very clear. Even another friend was telling me, he decided his wife, he doesn't want her to work. And if she's going to work, she is going to work in his company. So he set those goals at the very onset. So I'm still learning. I've not gotten myself into a long-term relationship. So I'm gonna sort of craft this by myself. But I don't think the extremes work.
I definitely agree on that. Yeah.
Because not unless then you decide to be, celibate or, be spinning the plates until you're, I don't know what age, or just not ever have a wife. I mean, there are some of the men that have gotten into red pill and manosphere space, particularly probably in their late 40s, going to their 50s. Many have had, they've gotten children.
Yes.
So part of the goal has been achieved, but then either went into a divorce or separation, And now they have probably decided, okay, one of the goals was to have children. They are now possibly either high school or going to adulthood. And they have decided part of their life, this is it. They're not thinking of having a woman on a long-term relationship kind of a framework. And if they probably decide it's more like a boyfriend, girlfriend kind of an arrangement. Yeah, so it depends on at which stage you are in as a man. I personally don't so much advocate on taking the extreme. Sometimes when they say, if you're going into marriage, then it's kind of like you've given up on the game. So they say the game is rigged right from the get-go. And it's true. So how do you model that game to at least operate in your favor?
How can and when you talk about the game, what is it game that you're talking about? Is
it's
it
a game between a relationship of a man and a woman.
Yes. And do you think it's already rigged?
It is. It is. In the modern sense, as we are now, it is rigged. It is very much rigged. So
how can you manipulate it as I assume it is rigged against us, the men.
It's rigged against the men.
And how can you've said there's a way, or you think you can manipulate the system or the game to be rigged in your favor?
I mean, I think many people go in with good intentions, trying to make what is, not being alive to the realities. I mean,
so I think you're saying people should get into that game with bad intentions, or what?
No. I mean, they're, how would I put it? They are being too nice. One, they are being too, I mean, no, let me put it this way. They are not alive to the realities that we know. We know women are polygamous. We know, yes, women are polygamous and promiscuous. It's in their nature. It's also in our nature to be promiscuous as men.
Yes.
That's why we say, cheating for men is not a real thing. Men just have options.
Yes.
There's a reason why, if you look at societies like Arab, the Muslims, that they covered their women with clothes, that they always would like to put their women to be housewives. Because if you expose her to the world, if that woman has to go to an office every morning, what are you doing? You're just bringing her to the options that she could easily fall for. That strong-headed boss of hers, or strong-headed masculine director in that company, she's definitely likely to fall for that, because it's in our nature. It's like, we've seen those cases of people who try to be nice with wildlife, like trying to keep a lion as a house pet, or try to play with the crocodiles. I think there was this Australian guy who actually lost his life because of that. It's in their nature. A lion will not operate any other way but being a lion.
But someone will say we are living in a modern times where the women are working, they are educated. Actually, I think they're even much more educated in terms of going to school than even the men, because the men are dropping out of colleges nowadays while women are enrolling in colleges. Women are getting more jobs. The other time I was in Kenya and I was seeing most restaurants, most shops, you just find it's young women working, the men, it's like they've given up alcohol, just staying in the house, watching movies, playing video stations and all those things. Someone will say the life is changing. We are living in a modern world. Women are working. So how would you navigate that? The point that now you're telling your wife or this girlfriend of yours, I don't want to see you working. I just want to see you maybe taking care of the house and everything. How will that work?
I mean, no doubt the honors are on us to be fully men, to pursue that, make money enough to sustain that woman and keep her as a housewife. And I think because part of the feminization game has been, no, we want to have 2-income household where the wife is bringing in something and the husband is bringing in something.
Yes.
And in a sense, it has made us a bit lazy.
That's true.
I think there was somebody who was giving a submission on Kibe Spaces, and he was saying, particularly if you go to UAE and some of those Arab Muslim societies, you're not even allowed if you don't have a certain income level, because they understand the role and responsibility of a man who is looking to marry is to be able to effectively provide for this woman and the children that they will have.
Yes.
So the man has, in a sense, been playing below par. He's not been living up. So, I think we can blame women all night, but there is a bigger responsibility upon us to be able to support this.
I agree.
But now, in response to your question of, we can't run away to the reality of where women now have been, highly educated. They are able to pursue the jobs and
yes.
And now women are like men. They can be able to get that car, get that house. They have the bag. But I think we can also not deny they are natural.
It's
who
true.
They are innately. So it's a bigger goal on us as men, particularly as we pursue this manosphere and red pilling. One, to take on that goal of make that money, pursue whatever money game you have to pursue, to have the income level that can sufficiently support a wife and children. Of course, with yourself. But I think the other goal is, if you have to live fully within that frame, then I think you have to be intentional on the woman that you select.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's true.
I think you can't run away from that. I think understand the reality that you're in, but also understand. So that's why I was even saying the reason why many are failing is, one, they don't acknowledge the natural state of who a woman is. To men that have, in some regard, married women who are older than them, men that have, in many ways, married a woman who earns more than them. And these things, I think there's a reality there. When the woman has more money than you, and when the woman is more older than you, yes, the honeymoon phase, it all looks life jolly, and all akidori, but there's a reality there that we can't.
But have you noticed? Actually, that's the trend we are heading. Young men, as you've said, women are hypergamous, and that's one of the characteristics actually that makes me even love these women. Because once, as a man, if you understand that, you just concentrate on yourself, you build yourself, you become the highest version of yourself. You will never talk a lot, compared to the guy. I remember when I was in campus, maybe to share a little story with you, me approaching the women when I was in campus is different as right now, because there, when you're on campus, you have nothing. So you tend to talk a lot. You tend to promise things. You tend to sacrifice a lot of things, But as you grow older and you realize you as a man, you're judged by the value that you bring on the table. You focus on becoming the best version of yourself, and your value speaks for yourself. So right now, women are working, women are educated. And there's that crop of modern women, I think right now over 60% of them are educated. Some are working, they're getting their own money. The other day I was talking to a lady friend of mine. She's earning around 25,000. And I just joked and I asked her, would you date or get married to a man who is earning the same as you, 20 to 25,000? And she said no without hesitation. But now, how many men, average men, can afford even more than 30,000 Kenya shillings a month?
Yeah.
You know, so it's difficult. So at the end of the day, the majority of the women right now, if you ask me, they will qualify for the top 5%, not even 10, 5% of the people, of the men in the society. But now they're also getting old. They want kids. They want family. That's why they end up now looking for these small boys, young boys. The other day I was seeing Zari with the boyfriend, enjoying life. You see the likes of Bahati and Diana. You see the likes
we call her Shush.
Yeah. Shosh. For those who are watching, Shosh means a grandmother. And then we have the likes of this musician called Guardian Angel with a 50-year-old. You see, it's a trend that is growing and it's taking a trajectory. I'm telling you,
it's part of that marketing. And